is 8 a.m. here on Kincaid and South Judas on this Tuesday morning following 2 playoff losses. Flyers lose to the Canes in overtime yesterday, 3-2. Sixers, they played. I feel like we literally said those same words after Game 1 against the Boston Celtics that they played. But we know how that series played out. The Sixers end up beating the Celtics in 7 games. The improbable comeback being down 3-1 after that horrific Game 4 performance where even the return of Joel Embiid was not like, Embiid's back. They looked horrible in Game 4, and then they won Games 5, 6, and 7, and we celebrated the hell out of it. And maybe they did too. And maybe they weren't so ready for Game 1 last night. And it's a Tuesday, which means, Johnny, Amy Fadool joins us.
She's in the house.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Amy. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking.
Let's start with the Sixers. We've been talking Flyers as well, but you, of course, doing a great job at NBC Sports Philadelphia pre and post. And the Sixers happened last night.
They were there.
They lose 137-98. Nick Nurse waves the white flag early in the second half. Can't blame them. They had no shot of coming back in that basketball game. So one question that's being asked by Vincent Goodwill. It's a great name.
Mr. Goodwill.
Mr. Goodwill. He writes, he covers the Knicks for ESPN.com.
Goodwill is a candy bar?
Wasn't it?
No.
Good bar.
Good plenty?
Good bar, I think it's called.
Well, Mr. Goodwill believes that, or he put out a question. Is this more Sixers exhaustion, like the emotional exhaustion of coming back 3-1, winning in 7?
And also physical exhaustion.
Yes. Or Knicks rounding into what he believes could be a championship type form, especially now that Boston's out. What side do you believe?
Probably both.
Sure.
But I think for a game like that, I'm going to lean a little bit more into the mental and physical exhaustion. I think that the Knicks are rounding into form. I think that there's a lot of people that punched a ticket on the Knicks when the Sixers won Game 5. They thought, well, this Boston team, even if they get past the Sixers, are looking more vulnerable. The Knicks took them down last year. Of course, that was without Tatum. But people thought, well, the Knicks look really good. The Celtics don't. We're going to go ahead. And that's why a lot of the odds went down on the Knicks as far as to win the Eastern Conference. So I think that there is still some of that. But if you're asking for why that Game 1 went that way, the Sixers got in at 2 a.m. on Sunday morning. They made the trip. They quickly regrouped, packed all their stuff up, cleaned everything, and then got right back on the road up to New York on Sunday evening, and then got up early on Monday. And I think it probably hit them Monday afternoon. Like this was exhausting. We were in Boston 2 days ago, fighting tooth and nail because that was not an easy Game 7. Let's be honest.
Right.
And I think it caught up with some of them. You don't look like Tyrese Maxey running through quicksand without thinking there's some kind of exhaustion hitting. I think that there's also the thought process for me that this is a very good Knicks team. And if you let them do what they want to do, a la run the pick and roll to death, then they're going to do it and they're going to kill you with it. And that's what they did. There was no... I think there's going to be adjustments. I think that goes without saying. We saw that from Game 1 to Game 2 for the Celtics series. I have full confidence there'll be plenty of adjustments. It just depends on how hard you can adjust because they have a lot deeper of a team that runs the system better than the Sixers do. I still think the Sixers are a very talented team. I think there is absolutely a way they can win this. I'm not going to say no, but if you had to ask why Game 1 exactly went that way, that it was a complete debacle, a 39-point loss, I'm going to lean a little bit more on the mental and physical exhaustion.
Do you feel better after Game 1 loss versus the Knicks than you did after Game 1 loss to the Celtics?
I do, probably because I've seen what they can do when they have like a blowout.
Twice you saw it.
Yeah.
You saw losses like that in the Celtics series.
And twice you saw
and they
really good
rebounded
recoveries.
well, right?
So I think that there is that. And maybe that's a little bit of fool's gold. Maybe we're putting too much on hey, we've already seen this before. But we've also seen that Sixers team go up to the Garden and play exceptionally well. We've seen VJ Edge can play exceptionally well on Jalen Brunson. I think they have to show a little bit more double teams for him personally. And I think that we've seen Tyrese Maxey play well at the Garden. So I think those are some anomalies for me, why I feel like there's going to be some confidence to bounce back.
Curious to get your thoughts on this. I termed it a stupid positive take.
Okay.
Like I led with the word stupid. All right, I need that to be clear before anybody takes this super seriously, even though I'm kind of serious, but it is stupid. Maybe they needed that last night.
Well, that is stupid.
It's stupid.
But I hear you.
They won Game 7 And it was great to see the smiles from ear to ear, especially for Joel Embiid, because he finally did something that he has not accomplished before, and that was winning a Game 7. He was 0-3 going into it. Ultimately, it was the first round, right? Like, as much as it means something to this city that we saw Joel Embiid overcome a Game 7, I said it earlier, as much as it means to people of John's generation, right? Like, it's been 42 years since you beat Boston in the playoffs. Like, that must have been so freaking special. 44 years, thank you. Mm-hmm. That must have been so freaking special.
Thanks for reminding me.
For Sixers, 2 more years, Johnny. Jeez. For Sixers fans to have seen that and the organization to have accomplished that. Mm-hmm. And you took down Boston, the odds-on favorite to get to the NBA Finals from the Eastern Conference. Ultimately, it was the first round. And I'm not saying they went into game yesterday smelling themselves. It's just, I feel like they were like, all right, we did it. They needed to get woken back up a little bit, right. And getting smacked in the face that way may have woken you up. Like, wow, we need to keep playing with that same energy, that same attitude that we had in games 5, 6, and 7 every single game.
Yeah, not just offensively or just overall defensively. The defense was not the same relentless defense that we saw in games 5, 6, and even 7-7. There was a little bit of a step back, but there had to be because game 6 was such a complete defensive effort. There was not that. They let Karl Anthony Towns operate it free from 3-point. I know he only was 3 for 5, but he didn't have to be. He only played 20 minutes of the game because they went with Mitchell Robinson a lot of the time, which I understand. That's what you're going to do. Karl Anthony Towns, Joel Embiid is not the traditional matchup. Karl Anthony Towns, I don't care what the roster says, he is not a center. He is a forward. He plays forward. He is a 4. I don't care what they say. You might put him at the 5. He's a 4. He operates like a 4. Look at his assists. He's out there operating as a forward guard almost. And I think that that's one of the things you have to run him off that. Like, treat him like Jaylen Brown. Treat him like Jason Tatum. I think that'll be an adjustment. You cannot let him operate, from 15 feet and outside as freely as he did. Mm-hmm. I thought the defense really was lacking on a lot of things. I thought they did an okay-ish job on certain players. But they have a physicality to them and skill set like an OG Anunoby that the Celtics do not have.
Right.
Celtics don't have that guy.
No, they have sneaky athletic guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Knicks?
Is that what?
No.
I was like, the Knicks don't.
No. The Celtics. They have a bunch of sneaky athletic guys.
It's funny because you call Jalen Brunson crafty. And I was like, he is, because he's not athletic. He's a tremendously skilled player, but he's not going to out-athlete anybody on that court. So you should be able to make him work for it on the defensive end by having him chase your guy around. Put the ball, whoever's guarding him, whoever Jalen Brunson's guarding, put the ball in that guy's hands because that's how you beat them. Or at least you have like a fighting chance. You saw what they did to Jaylen Brown and how hard they make him work for it on either end. Then he's going to be tired on one of the two. It's very simple. I feel like there's certain things that you have to do, but yeah, the defense did not travel to New York. That was probably the biggest thing when you watched the way that the Knicks were able to do whatever they wanted. Jalen Brunson got to every spot he wanted to.
Every spot.
And you saw him drive in, you're like, well, that's going to be good.
The other thing that really bothered me, and yesterday, again, I'm Andrew Salchunas. I'm not head coach Nick Nurse. Yesterday, we do something on YouTube, post-show headlines. We do it every once in a while. And I was calling for Maxey to be involved early, like offensively. If they're going to win this series, I think he's going to have to be close to 30 points a night, Tyrese Maxey. Like, obviously, Batman Robin with Joel Embiid.
Right.
I get that maybe early on they were like, hey, Embiid's had so much success against Karl Anthony Towns. Let's go. Tyrese Maxey cannot take one field goal in the first quarter of any basketball game ever, let alone a freaking playoff series in the Garden where you need to hit shots. I thought that was completely mismanaged.
That was like game 4 of the Celtics series.
Yes.
Almost a repeat. And
I hated it then,
saw
too.
What happened after that. It didn't happen again. Games 5, 6, and 7, that did not occur. You worried that it was in the back of Tyrese Maxey's mind, too. Now it's like, well, I haven't taken a field goal. Wait, are you forcing it now? I don't know why it was so low. He didn't make his first field goal until over halfway through the second quarter.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, which is wild. I mean, that's just not something you want to do. They all took 11 shots. Of course, they all didn't play past 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. So, I think that the game plan has to be early and often. You can take something away from the Celtics series and the fact that you can jack up a bunch of shots. I think that you can take that away. You don't have to be as judicious about it because it's the Knicks or a slow plodding team. Like they're a slow plodding team. They're not going to run you up and down the court the way the Celtics are, or certainly the way the Sixers like to do. So why are you playing their game? Why are you doing that? Don't do that. Jalen Brunson's going to get to the spot. You get to your spot.
Yeah,
you got to run up and down the court, run them ragged. I thought that was very interesting that they just kind of made let the Knicks dictate the pace, because that's a slower plodding team that's just going to crash the boards and kind of walk the ball up.
I didn't understand why that game plan was. It was the first thing I asked this morning. If you listen to Nick Nurse's post game, which I know you do because you have to live and breathe it more than we do on a daily basis, is Nick Nurse, every single comment he made, in one soundbite he stopped himself in the middle of 5 sentences. He did not complete 5 sentences.
Well, it's play.
He's in the middle of saying something and he stops. He doesn't complete the sentence because he can't say what he really wants to say.
I think there's
and every one of them was about effort.
Yeah, I think there's that. I think he stopped himself because he's not the guy that's going to call out and badmouth his team. But also, I think
that tells me he wanted to.
But I think they're also reeling a little bit. I think he was also like a little bit like, you're going to ask me. Let's go back to what Tyrese Maxey said after some of those games. Why didn't you have the effort? I don't know. Nick Nurse is like, what do you mean you didn't have the effort? Like, you didn't have the effort? It's game 1 in the Garden against the Knicks. Like, what are we doing? So do I need him to come out and call out players? Absolutely not. I find that to be completely antithetical of what a coach should do in a 7-game series. Now, is it a game, in the middle of the season when you're still fighting for your playoff life? Absolutely, because you're trying to fire him up. But if you need to get fired up by your coach in a post-game press conference after game 1, shouldn't you look in your mirror?
No, it does tell me, though, that's what he wanted to do.
Well, it tells me that he already
stopped.
It tells me that he already did that.
Yeah, he probably said in the locker room.
You heard that from the post-game comments. The guys talked about it. When you hear them over and over talk about the effort and why it wasn't there, that's clearly something that's been... Listen, these players are very smart, but you can only hear something so many times before you start parroting it. I remember going back to like a Don Barlow soundbite where he said something about like, oh, they're 4-2 when doing such and such. And I'm like, you think that guy knew that? He didn't know that. He was told that because that's what
It's like the Phillies with the good club thing.
They come these guys come into the post-game press conference almost immediately after Nick Nurse has addressed them.
Absolutely.
So they're sitting there stewing after their coach has dressed them down. If you think they're not talking about in some way, obviously, in a much more overt way, and general way, that tells me when he was talking about like, we didn't do this, this, and this, he's not going to start naming them by name. I don't know a single coach that would do that and think it was a good idea.
Well, Doc Rivers did say he did not know if Ben Simmons would be a championship point guard. And then we all know what happened after that.
How'd that work out for their relationship?
Not great. All right, what do we have on the Davis Honda text line? Feel the Davis difference. You could check them out in Burlington, and then we'll talk some Flyers hockey. They also lost yesterday. But there is something that we need to address from this Flyers game that we have not addressed yet. What do we got?
Steve checks in, says panic meter is still low. That being said, tomorrow's a big game. Goal is just to take one in New York. Let's not go home empty-handed. This Knicks team is not a world beater roster.
I think that is a great way to look at it.
It's a good roster.
And this team,
it's a good bench,
as Amy pointed out, and in the earlier conversation there, after what we saw them rebound from game 1 of the Celtics series, and we saw them rebound from game 4 of the Celtics series, this team right now deserves the benefit of the doubt that they can come back tomorrow night with a really strong effort. They deserve that benefit of the doubt. They really do. They've shown us. They've shown us in the past 10 days that they can do that. So I'm going to choose to believe that they can.
Yeah, I think it's...
I'm frustrated, though, that they have
exactly.
to. I'm frustrated that they have to, that we're here again.
It's like, oh, great, another like 30-plus point playoff loss. But at the same time, they've been here before. I don't like that they've been here before. I think it's kind of like, really, you couldn't give me that little bit more in game 1 in Madison Square Garden against the Knicks, a team you haven't beaten in the playoffs since 1984. I love this history. We're going 40-plus years all the time, not just back-to-back.
Yeah, right.
It's just, so it's one of those things. It is disappointing, but until they prove themselves to being out of it, a la like another complete debacle of a game, then no. I think that you have to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Stupid positive spin.
They just
stupid positive
spin.
I don't think that's stupid positive.
But
I think they deserve it.
Yeah,
benefit of the doubt.
I feel like if they'd been a close loss, then that would have fired them up just as much,
Sure.
too, because it would have been like we're right
Hey,
there.
Look, these guys are prideful. They're not going to want to get embarrassed like that again.
Oh, Tyrese Maxey had 4 turnovers. Do you know how many turnovers he had in the entire 7-game series?
4?
9.
Okay.
That's amazing.
He was a 46-9. That's better than 5-1
Yeah.
assist to turnover ratio. He had 4 last night, and he didn't play the entire game. That's not going to happen again.
Also, I mean, you talk to Nick Nurse every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Can you have him design, instead of a box-in one where you're defending somebody, can they do a box-in-one where they're just boxing out Josh Hart so that he doesn't get rebounds?
No.
That man
That seems so simple.
That man and his rebounding drives me freaking up a wall.
Whoever solves that, Nick Nurse, whatever, name the coach. No one has ever solved it.
It's unbelievable.
It's bizarro world.
I'm watching it unfold again.
Here's another fun stat.
Thank God it was only one
So
game.
they played 4 times during the regular season. Do you know what the average offensive rebounds for the Knicks were in the 4-game regular season was?
The average offensive rebound?
Yeah.
6.5.
7.
16.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
16?
And Josh Hart probably gets
Probably
half
had
of
8
them.
of them.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Wait a minute then. Then
But
then I
that's
feel
normal.
a little.
That is not the Sixers. That is the Knicks' normal rate.
Then I feel a little dumber about. Then I feel a little dumber then about being so outraged by it. Then.
But when you're
But they
playing
won 2 of those games, though, John.
I get you.
In
but
the
over
Garden.
the course of the series, I need
In
them
the
to
Garden.
figure something out.
They did.
Yes.
Wow.
But the thing is, this is
Wow.
So yes, like this is going to be glaring because we're in the Sixer land and this is Sixers. Go look at them against the Boston Celtics. Look at them against
Same
the Magic.
thing.
Look at them against the Raptors. It is what they do. The thing is, you have to do the other things better. They're going to get their O boards.
Wow.
Yeah, it's jarring, but they're going to get
you
that.
do that for a living.
Josh Hart, that is his existence.
It's unbelievable.
That's
2 bigs, Andre Drummond, just body Josh
yeah,
Hart.
that's what I'm saying. Just put him out there.
What do you think Justin Edwards is out there for?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
get
I know.
6.
I thought it was the foul Mitchell Robinson.
It was, but you get 6, so box out whomever you choose.
Yeah.
Nick Nurse has to be pretty judicious with his substitutions because there really is a drop off. In this series, it'll be much more evident.
Yeah. All right. Flyers, they lose in overtime yesterday. Bummer because they go up 2-0 early. They score 2 goals in a matter of 30 seconds.
It was like the first time the Carolina Hurricanes have lost.
The first time they were trailing all postseason.
Yeah.
By the way, how many in my text in the first period? How many goals did I tell you they would need to win?
4. And they lost 3-2.
How many?
4. I said they'd need 4, and it was when it was 2-0. I said they're going to need 4 to win tonight.
Unfortunately, they lose.
They didn't even
3-2.
get the third.
Now, something that we have not addressed yet today. Somebody explain something to me. These leagues
Okay.
that are multi-billion-dollar corporations.
Yes.
Is the NFL a trillion-dollar corporation?
Probably, but I don't think
wouldn't
so.
know
No,
it
these
is.
Trillion.
It is.
All right.
Yeah, easily.
Trillion-dollar corporations,
Easily.
multi-billion.
32 franchises? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How in the world in 2026 can we still not have a camera angle that doesn't have some guy's head standing in front
that
of
was
us?
Oh my
terrible.
God. That was like wild to me.
And the camera angle got shaky every time.
because it's up in the stands.
And it
that
happened-
was like I
it
get
Why is
happened
it
last-
shaky?
because the building was shaking.
Yeah.
Wow.
It happened last year in the hockey playoffs last year too. Maybe it's the way the arenas are set up
Yes,
and
it is.
the angle. You're not doing so much of over the top. I don't need somebody's head
Yeah, the fact there was a head
constantly
in the way
throughout an entire playoff game. It's like baseball. Every once in a while, you get the camera angle that's slightly off center, and I'm like, can we
Can
fix
you smooth
that?
it?
Can you fix that?
I will tell you that last night there is a mute button for your TV. Ray Ferraro was well worth it, and I don't complain much about analysts on television. Ray Ferraro was terrible last night.
Yeah, I had Sixers audio yesterday.
And I can tell you personally, having covered Ray, having done radio and television for the team that Ray played for, I know how much Ray loathes Philadelphia.
Oh.
Oh,
So it's one of those.
there you go.
And he was
That guy.
he was a former Hartford Whaler.
So he's all caned up.
All I will tell you is his excitement for the Carolina Hurricanes is high.
Yeah.
His apathy towards the Philadelphia Flyers is also high.
I will say those bad camera angles do not happen in new stadiums because the stadiums are built with camera angles
Right,
in mind.
exactly.
Yes, they built in. That place is.
I always love, every once in a while, I'm a loser. Every once in a while, late summer night, I'll put on like the the Cape Cod leagues that are going on.
That might as well be game changer.
The camera angle is like third base.
Yeah.
They're on the third base.
It's literally like somebody operating it with their iPad game changer.
It's awesome.
It's not a big
All right, coming up next. Sometimes it's therapeutic to talk about just how bad something was, right? Maybe?
Yep.
You know, you got to dig deeper to make your way back up to the top.
Build yourself back up.
So let's do that, Johnny, because Amy, somebody from NBC Sports Philadelphia, did the work for us.
Oh, great.
It's Kincaid and Sal Tunis. Amy with us, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincaid and Sal Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, it's 8:30 here on Kincaid and Sal Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic. Who needs a pick-me-up? Because we sure did. Sixers lose yesterday
Besides
by
your snacks?
39 points. The Flyers lose in overtime yesterday. They're now down 2-0. And we were able to get a little bit of a pick-me-up during the commercial break because Roy Rogers just dropped off some food, Johnny. And love me some Roy Rogers. Always have. I've told you the story before. That was my mom's first ever job. Oh. My mom worked at a Roy Rogers. So Roy
we had
Rogers,
one in Newtown Square.
Yeah.
We had one in Newtown Square growing up, and it was very, very popular.
Every time we saw one on the road somewhere,
There it is, Roy Rogers.
Road trips, we usually stopped at the Roy Rogers. So we just ate some delicious food. I just had a sourdough ham, egg, and cheese.
Delicious.
And it was unbelievable. You went with what? The biscuit?
Chicken biscuit.
Chicken biscuit.
Which I did not listen to Connor and Austin, who said you could put some jelly on that.
It's a weird move.
No, because you're not a psychopath and put jelly on a chicken biscuit.
Yeah, that's a weird move, dude.
A biscuit with jelly?
Yes.
Sure. A chicken
and
biscuit? No, you
I
don't.
just said you could if you want to.
Yeah, you could do anything if you
but
want.
You could
Not
also
anything. Some things are illegal.
You could go. You could lick
Jelly on
you
chicken
could
biscuit is
lick
not.
the board right now if you
Yeah,
wanted
you could do that too.
I would
That's
still
like pre-show
I would
routine.
still say that would be weird. So we have two
Interesting.
$25 gift cards to give away to Roy Rogers and Cherry Hill
Great,
now
folks.
offering free coffee with any purchase. Love that. So you can use a $25 gift card and still get free coffee. Come grab a quality breakfast at Roy Rogers. Their breakfast sandwiches are delicious on your choice of sourdough, croissant, or biscuits. Download the app and order ahead. We have two $25 gift cards that we will give away throughout the course of the show today. Real quick, I wrote this down during the commercial break because Amy and I were both speaking highly of the sourdough bread. I believe the sourdough bread of the normal breads.
Yes.
So, like, I'm not talking
Superior bread.
I'm not talking, Italian roll, French. I'm talking.
You're talking about rye,
terrible white bread.
Grocery store.
Yes.
Or terrible
These are
white bread.
When someone asks, like, what kind of bread?
Yeah.
They're not saying, like,
You're not saying
Italian.
challah.
Yeah,
Like,
we're saying, like, rye, wheat.
What are you
Yeah,
doing?
white.
Every voice today?
Also, what kind of bread was that again?
challah bread, right?
Yeah, I just didn't
Challah
know.
bread.
Like, it was
Just
very strange
interesting.
the way he said it.
It's fantastic.
It is.
I love
Talk about
challah
great-
bread. Like, it's
great French toast.
really freaking good.
Great French toast.
So I wrote it down
Holla.
in order: sourdough 1, whole grain 2,
Get out of here.
No.
rye 3,
Oh, wow. This is a terrible list.
white 4,
You're
No.
done with bread takes.
Wait a minute. White.
wheat 5.
White.
You found something
Get
that's
out.
worse than your sports takes. It's your bread takes.
Multigrain is not on that list as a crime. That's
I
the
put
crime.
whole grain. Isn't whole grain and multigrain the same thing?
No.
Yeah.
No. Whole grain is one, multigrain's another. Whole grain is one.
Well, technically, whole grain is just the one grain,
Yes.
and multigrain is. But I
Multigrain
think
is
you meant.
mixed.
I think you
That's
meant
what-
multigrain.
yeah,
You meant all
you mean
the
multigrain?
grains.
All right,
Yes.
so that's the
Multigrain
two.
We talked about all the
multigrain,
grains.
but
He likes
white-
to see all the seeds in there.
The fact that
Yes,
white bread's
yeah,
on
that's
your
multigrain.
list, which is like the worst thing you can
First
put
of
in your
all-
body,
Oh, well, it's not definitely.
that is terrible.
But
definitely not
It's
the
horrible.
worst thing.
It's sugar. Just take
It's
a spoonful
delicious.
of sugar and just put it in your mouth.
But it tastes good.
It does.
I'm
White
not talking
bread?
about like what's bad
Does.
for you. I'm talking about what's good. And
Yeah,
I
but
had it at 4. It's not like I had it at 2.
Yeah, it's bad.
By the way, rye for me,
Rye.
rye bread's a big Lithuanian thing.
I appreciate
So
that.
I put mustard on your rye?
Yeah, I've done
Okay, because
sandwiches.
mustard,
like
I
a
heard mustard
pastrami.
is really good.
Yeah.
Pastrami,
with it.
mustard,
I
rye.
grew up like rye bread was on the table
I have to doctor up a
all
rye.
the time.
If
course you do.
there's rye bread, you have to doctor it up.
You
can't just enjoy
You don't have to
it.
doctor up white bread. I could just eat that.
No, I
plain.
can't eat white bread.
All right.
Can't do that one.
So Amy, you work for NBC Sports Philadelphia.
I sure
yeah,
do.
she does.
And so you
Sure
know
do.
that Reuben Frank works for NBC Sports
He
Philadelphia.
does. Man is a wealth of knowledge.
Anybody else? You got to go down the list of who works there?
Dave Zangaro.
Dave Zangaro.
Yeah. Noah
There
Levitt,
you go.
Jordan Hall.
Right.
Going to give out some.
Ray Dunn used to.
Yeah, for like a second.
They rat
We
him
miss
out.
him.
So Rube's been doing his 10 stats forever with the Eagles, but he's been dipping his toes in the water of the Sixers.
He always has observations.
So he did his 10 76er stats that are guaranteed to make you feel even worse than you already do.
It's probably like the number one article on our website right now. I'll have to find that.
So
out.
again, sometimes it is therapeutic to really focus on the bad things, and then hopefully you overcome said really bad things. Do you know that this is the second worst loss ever by the Sixers in the playoffs?
Yeah, it was 40 points. In 1982, game one against the Celtics. What happened in 1982 against the Celtics?
They beat them.
Oh, they lost by 40 in the game one, and they came back and trucked them the rest of the way. So, yes, if you watch the post-game show, which I know everybody did last night because it was such a great game.
I was still awake.
It was the very first thing we said.
Once, twice, three times a disaster. After losing game one and game four of the Celtics series, both by 32 points, the Sixers are now the only second team in NBA history to lose 3 playoff games by 30 or more points in the same season. It happened just last year when the Nuggets lost the game to the Lakers, but by 34, then won the series, and then lost by the Thunder by 43 points and 32 points.
Well, that's the Thunder.
So they're not first, they're second. The -5 for the first time in franchise history, 5 Sixers were -20 or worse in a game. Not playoffs.
My gosh.
Not just playoffs. Ever games. Tyrese Maxey of -28, Paul George of 26, Kelly Oubre at 25, and Embiid and Quentin Grimes both a -24.
See, that to me right there, that's effort. That's an effort stat. That's effort.
It's also a little skewed because they were not in the game to make that number go back up.
Yeah.
Because you look at like Jalen Brunson, why is he now at a +39? He didn't play the whole game.
True.
Those are a little bit skewed. But yes, it's not a good stat. That's why it's a bad thing. It's on his list.
The Knicks' 139 points are the second most the 76ers have ever allowed in a playoff game. The most was 156 back in 1970 when Lou Alcindor.
Yep.
He was good at basketball.
So was his brother. What was his brother's name? Kareem. Was really, really good, too.
That's not his brother. That's the same human.
It's the same guy. He's also a great pilot.
Surely you must be joking.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
All right. This ought to be impossible. Adem Bona played just 4 minutes, but picked up 5 personal fouls.
No, that's not impossible. It's not impossible. He proved it.
I really don't like him watching. I don't like playing in basketball. Him playing basketball. I really despise it. I despised it last year. I despise it even more this year.
There's some basketball awareness plays that are just not registering.
Yes. It's very Paul Reed, and when Paul Reed left, I thought I was rid of that. And Adem Bona is just actually worse than Paul Reed, and that's saying something.
It's not good.
There were more. I figured I'd stop.
It's not good. It's not good.
Yeah. So it was really bad. And
you want some more? The Knicks are the first team to win 3 straight playoff games by 25 points or more.
We gave that one. That's historic. So we said that means they're due for a come down.
Correct. The last teams did 2. There was 2 other teams that won 3 straight games by 20 or more. It was the 86 Lakers and the 2009 Cavaliers.
Okay.
2 very good teams, but they did not. I mean, listen, the Knicks are good. They played a perfect game.
Good
they
club.
played really well.
I mean, they shot like 70% in the first half. So that's not going to happen again. And
you can't make it that easy for them. I think that's the overriding thing.
Cat had way too much space.
You can't slack. I can't remember who I think I was texting Scott Graham, and he was like, "What's going on?" It's like you can't slag off like Karl Anthony Towns. He's
one of the best shooting.
He has prided himself on this. Remember years ago when he entered the 3-point contest, and everybody's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I want to be the best 3-point shooting big man in NBA history." That was like 6 years ago. He's shot in the Hawks series, and granted, the numbers are going to be skewed against that Hawks series because of the way that it ended, but there's still going to be numbers. 40+% from 3, 44, I think it was. Like, he's a good 3-point shooter. They knew that. They wanted to put, I think, a little bit more emphasis on trying to make them work harder in the paint. You should be able to go in the middle all day. They let that open. It didn't need to because you're taking all these 15, 18, 22, 25 footers. And they all went in.
They all went in.
Which isn't, well.
That will not happen again.
It's not going to happen.
One, they're not going to all go in, and two, they're not going to have that kind of space anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the key is, and that's where the adjustments have to happen. And
but those shots,
we all believe that will happen.
Yeah.
The adjustments will happen.
Yeah,
they will.
They're not losing. They're not losing by 30. How much was it?
39.
39 points. They're not losing by 30.
Wow.
39.
Lock that one in. All right, what do we have on the Davis on a text line? Feel the Davis difference. Check them out in Burlington. You can text the show at 610-632-0975. And we'll let you know soon how you can win the $25 gift cards from Roy Rogers.
So Jason checks in here. He has some positives on the Sixers last night. Wants to bring the mood up a little bit. He says Sixers have no bench whatsoever, no improvement at all since Morey took over. Another second-round exit.
Man, I mean, I feel like we've had a lot of really sharp turns today because of that loss yesterday. Like, we had a texter earlier, Amy, that said if the Flyers lose this series and the Sixers lose this series, all fan momentum will completely disappear. Now, if the Sixers get blown out,
if they have 4 straight games of 30-plus points, yes,
sure,
I get that. But I don't think that's going to happen.
The Flyers, like, no. I even after a loss yesterday, I'm proud of.
You had a 3.8% chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think we're not handling last night very well.
No, because there was so much joy, and the rug got pulled out, and you find yourself kind of flailing, and that's when you're flailing. You don't have good thoughts when you're flailing.
Yeah. It feels.
Don't go
like
to
that.
the deep dark place. You can still hide in the shadows, but don't go to the dark place.
There's no reason to.
You shouldn't go into the dark place yet.
No. Not after that.
All right. What did I have as my number one bread? Fifth person to text it in at 610-632-0975. Fifth person to text in what my number one bread was will win our first of our two $25 gift cards to Roy Rogers, and you could have said number one bread.
Yes.
You can.
That's right. That's a hint.
I just ate it.
You can.
And it was delightful. All right, coming up next. From horribly bad stats to a team that has quietly won 6 of their last 7, Amy. The hottest team in town.
Woo!
Are they back at 500 in less than 2 weeks? We go through that next. Kincaid and Sal Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Tails.
Kincaid and Sal Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It is 8:47 here on Kincaid and Sal Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic. Another $25 Roy Rogers gift card up for grabs. We'll let you know how you can win that as the show continues. Don't forget, we have the deal of the week going on right now. $50 Von C Brewing Company gift card. It's a great deal. You pay $25 and you get $50. So we were talking about this yesterday. Why buy just one? Buy multiple.
Somebody bought 4 yesterday, and I'm not saying who bought them.
Was it John Kincaid?
No, somebody bought 4 that I know.
Oh,
I will say
awesome.
somebody who may have been my bloodline.
Oh, okay.
So let's put it that way.
Look, it's a genius move because if you buy
why wouldn't you? If you love the place, why wouldn't you?
You're paying $100 and you're getting an extra $100 with it. Get a taste of Philly brewing history. Von C Brewing Company in Norristown. Get this deal while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com/deals. All right, Phillies. Take a little break from the playoff losses that we experienced yesterday. The Phillies won 1-0. They beat the Marlins. Aaron Nola looked very good. 6 innings, 5 hits, 5 strikeouts, no walks.
What's the ERA down to now?
I
that
imagine
had to
still
help
the 5s.
big time?
5.06.
Okay, so he's ahead of Andrew Painter.
Yes, the whip of 1.45 is not
Head
good.
of
I
a
just
guy
wanted to
that
see.
is-
I wanted to see Amy's face
Head of a
when I
guy
said
that
it.
literally just arrived
Yeah,
here.
I wanted to say. I wanted to see your face.
Yeah,
I have the lead.
5.06.
Yes.
Not great, but he pitched well yesterday, so give him his credit. Phillies win. So I was thinking about this morning when we were putting that together, the handy dandy show sheet. Can they get back to 500 in less than 2 weeks? So before they fired Dombrowski, I wish, before they fired Rob Thompson, we were all saying,
Don't
all
talk
right,
about what we're dreaming of.
this is a stretch where you have winnable games on paper. Unfortunately, the Phillies were losing a lot of on paper games because they sucked. They were 9-19 when they fired Rob Thompson. They begin their 3-game series with the Giants. They sweep them. They go to Miami for 4. They take 3 of 4. They have a 3-game series with the A's, who are in first place of their division because that division's bad right now. They play 3 games against the Rockies. They play 3 games against the Red Sox, who they fired their manager because they did, and the Phillies tried hiring said manager.
Yep.
And then it's 3 against the Pirates. So May 17th is when this date ends. All right, so that's 12 days from now. They begin a series with the Reds, who are playing good baseball this year, on May 18th. So before the Red series, Johnny.
Yes.
Can they get back to 500?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 games. You got to go
9 and 3.
9 and 3. No, they cannot.
What? They've got the Rockies coming in.
They cannot go 9. This team's not going 9 and 3. 8 and 4, they can go.
Okay.
They can cut into it big time.
I'll take 1 game under.
Are you going to tell me, can they be there by Memorial Day? Yeah, they can be there by Memorial Day.
I get a little bit more runway.
They'll be there by Memorial Day. By Memorial Day, they'll be at 500.
Now, it is imperative that they do get to or around 500.
Why?
Because after that, it gets a little more difficult.
Yeah, just a bit.
What, the road
schedule?
trip?
3 at home against the Reds, 3 at home against the Guardians.
Yeah.
3 on the road against the Padres, 3 on the road against the Dodgers, 3 at home against the Padres. Then you get the White Sox. So there's a nice little reprieve. Blue Jays, who I know aren't playing great baseball.
They're not.
A good team, though.
They were in the World Series last year.
They're a good club.
Then the Brewers, who are playing good baseball. So they need to.
Yeah, they do, but I mean, it's not.
They need to start.
They need to start again.
They just have to take advantage
Remember, 6 games under 500 on June 3rd, the 2 years that they went to the World Series Game 6 and NLCS Game 7. June 3rd.
Yeah, but I have an NL
they
East
do not,
ticket, man.
You said have to. They don't have to do anything.
Well, no.
They don't have to do anything.
Hold on. They have to not go 9 and 19 again.
No, but they don't have to do anything as far as, look, they were 6 games under on those seasons on June 3rd. They don't have to be at 500 by then. They don't have to be. I'd like them to be better than 6 games under 500. I'd like to be back at 500.
Yeah, I know, but if there's 6 games under 500 at the beginning of that stretch where it's Guardians, Padres, Dodgers, Padres, I don't like being there.
No, I don't either. But the Phillies have shown that they're pretty good against good teams.
They are
in the regular season. Last recent year. They have been
in the regular season.
They have been.
They've been good.
Yeah.
They tend to play very well against that, and so. We'll see how it all turns out. I think they're going to get things straightened out, and I think that right now they're playing a more focused brand of baseball.
All right.
Let's put it this way.
All right, let's check the poll of the day. Brought to us by Dr. Avidan Appel, Iron Mountain Men's Health. Poll's strong, 4 hours every single morning. I mean, he works magic. What do we got?
All right, so we have nearly 300 votes on this poll. After a rough night for the playoff teams last night, which loss leaves you feeling worse? 71% of responders say the Flyers, only 29% saying the Sixers.
I can't believe it.
I can totally believe that.
I can't.
I think it depends on how you read the question.
Yes.
So Amy, how would you answer said question? Which loss leaves you feeling worse, Flyers or Sixers?
Flyers.
All right.
It's just because it's the Hurricanes.
I voted Flyers.
Yeah, see, you have a little bit of an issue there.
It's the Hurricanes. You needed one, I thought, before you came back home. I still think that this team is super resilient.
You're not saying dead, but
right.
You
just
realize
if
how
I
hard
had
it
to
is.
choose,
Yeah. I
tough.
voted Flyers because I took that question as who has a better chance of moving on after last
That's how
night.
I took it.
But I'm more proud of the Flyers this morning.
Yeah, see, I took it as
than I am the Sixers this morning.
who do I think has the best chance? That's how I took it. Who has the chance of actually beating their opponent in this playoff round?
Yeah.
Is it the Hurricanes or is it the Knicks? And I went, well, I have a little bit more belief that the Sixers could right the ship against the Knicks than I do a little bit more. But as far as who do I think has done oh my gosh, look, I didn't think we'd be here. It's absolutely the Flyers.
Yeah, I'll be the bad guy today. I think the Flyers are dead. I'm sorry, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't believe in them if you're a fan out there, and it doesn't mean that I'm right.
Killed them.
No, I got crushed for this same mentality last week.
I truly don't understand it, but it's okay.
I mean, we haven't seen with the Sixers. We saw them do this exact thing in the previous series. I haven't seen this iteration of a young Flyers team get their teeth kicked in on the road and then
They
come
didn't get
back.
their teeth kicked in yesterday.
They
though.
did. They
Game
played
one, they did.
great.
Yeah, that's what I'm
2-0.
saying. Like,
Yesterday, I know they're just up against.
The
a
Sixers-
I'm proud
significantly
of
better
them
team.
this morning.
The Flyers have
I'm
the
proud of them,
clearly
too.
inferior roster against a really, really good team, and they went on the road and played a great game and should have won, but they didn't. They don't have enough closers. The Sixers went and didn't even give you an effort. Didn't even give you an effort.
I'll be interested to see. You should run that same exact poll on Thursday morning, before Game 3 and after 2 games of the Sixers-Knicks.
Okay. Okay.
Because now you have 2 games. Because you had 2
Right.
games for the Flyers. You have 2 games.
Yeah.
That's going to be a little bit more of your feeling.
Because math would tell you that the Flyers are up against it more than the Sixers. right
Correct.
now. It's good working.
Math.
All right, coming up next. Ant Sanfilippo. He covers both the Flyers and the Phillies. So we could ask him about Magic Mattingly. Do you like that, Amy? I figured that could be the new shirt outside the stadiums. A playoff of Magic Mike. Magic Mattingly. No.
I was with you maybe until you said that it was a Magic Mike type of vibe, and then I just can picture the shirt that they're going to make down on the boardwalk. And I'm
Should
all
we
good with
start
it.
calling him Big Don? Because apparently people were outraged at what we said about.
Oh, my gosh. Because Big Dom, he's helping them win games on the field.
Can we have Big Don T-shirts
It's unbelievable.
being made up? All right, coming up next, Ant Sanfilippo here on the Fanatic.